Now, let us see by this example, gerund as well as infinitive is used for the same meaning and both can be used in the same pattern but with a different shade of meaning. The example was cooking is an art. Cooking, cooking is an art. This is very important, dear friends. Cooking is an art, and to cook is an art. To cook is an art. Here, cooking is gerund and to cook is infinitive. So gerund and infinitive can be used as the subject of a verb. Both have the same meaning here. Cooking is an art, to cook is an art. But let us see next that you will see the difference in the meaning of both can be used. Gerund as well as infinitive can be used in the same pattern but with a different shade of meaning. She loves singing. Here gerund is used, its a meaning is a general statement, and she loves to sing with me. To sing with me. She loves to sing with me. Here the meaning is more definite. In this way, this is the difference between the two, the gerund as well as in infinitive as far as their meaning is concerned. In this, the meaning is same. Both can be used for the same meaning. But in these two examples, we have seen that both can be used in the same pattern, but with a different shade of meaning. One more example of this type. You must remember writing. And you must remember to write tomorrow. General statement and the definite statement. Now next, we are going to see the gerund and present participle. Gerund and present participle. Dear friends, the forms of both are same. The forms of both are same. Waiting. V1 plus ing and V1 plus ing. It is present participle and it is gerund. Their structure is same or their formation is same, but their use will decide. Let me tell you one more time. Their use will decide whether it is a present participle or the gerund. Now, let me remember you what is participle. The word which is partly a verb and partly an adjective, in its use is called a participle. The participle which is formed from the verb after adding ing at the end is called present participle. It represents an action is going on or an incomplete action or statement. Present participle is a non-finite verb which ends in ing and works like an adjective. Works like an adjective. This makes the difference between present participle and gerund. It works like an adjective. whereas gerund for example, he kept me waiting, present participle. I don't like waiting, gerund. Both the gerund and the present participle look alike. They seem to be alike, formed from a verb with ing, ending in ing, but the gerund functions, like a noun, while the present participle functions like an adjective. He kept me waiting, present participle. Here it works like an adjective. I don't like waiting, gerund. It functions like a noun. After playing, he returned home. After playing, he returned home. After playing, he returned home. Present participle. Here it functions like an adjective. Playing is good for health, gerund. This functions like a noun. One more example of this type. Seeing or playing is good for health, gerund. Seeing, he believed. Seeing, he believed, present participle. Seeing, he believed, present participle. Playing, gerund, it is used here as noun. Here playing, present participle functions like an adjective. Again, waiting, gerund, and he kept me waiting, present participle, adjective, waiting, noun, gerund, playing, present participle, adjective, playing, gerund, noun, seeing, he believed, adjective, seeing is believing, gerund, noun. Now, let us see the infinitive, participle, and gerund. Verbs classified into finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Finite, which are limited by the subject, the persons of the subject, first person, second person, third person. The finite verbs are limited by the number of the subjects, singular number, plural number. It is also impacted by the tense. So those verbs are called finite verbs. A verb which is limited by the number and person of its subject is called finite verb. And non-finite verb a non-finite verb is that which is derived from a verb but has no subject. Non-finite verb is that which is derived from a verb but has no subject and therefore is not limited by the number and person of any noun or pronoun. Non-finites are classified into infinitive, participle, and gerund. So, infinitive is not governed by person, first person, second person, or third person. It is not governed by tense or number. Infinitive kind of verb is used with to, or sometimes it is used without to. The infinitive consists of two verbs, 2 plus verb. Thus, an infinitive is formed from a verb. But after certain verbs and expressions, the infinitive is used without to. So, the infinitives which are used without to or which are without to are called bare infinitive. The uses of infinitives: infinitive is used like a noun. Infinitive is used like a noun. It is used as the subject of a verb. To err is human, to forgive is divine. To err is human, to err and to forgive. It is used as the subject. It is used as a noun. Again, infinitive is used as the object of a verb. He likes to play. To play is the object of the verb. Rajesh wanted to do his work. To do is the infinitive used as object for the verb wanted. He seems to be mad. To be is the object of the verb seems. Children are to go home early. To go is the infinitive object of the verb are. Then infinitive is used as the object of a preposition. He is about to go. To go is infinitive and before that is the preposition about. She had no choice but to cry. She had no choice but to cry. But is conjunction. But in this sentence is used as a preposition. Its meaning here is except. She had no choice except to cry. So to cry is infinitive used after preposition. Then participle. Seeing the police, the thief ran away. We had seen an example. Seeing the police, the thief ran away. Seeing is formed from the verb see and has an object police. On the other hand, seeing and thief have a connection. Seeing, S-W-I-N-G, seeing says something about the thief. Thus, the word seeing also does the work of qualifying or describing the noun thief. Seeing is used here or worked here like an adjective. The word which is partly a verb and partly the verb which the word which is partly an adjective and partly a verb in its use is called participle. The participle is formed from the verb after adding ing at the end is called present participle. It represents an action as going on or an incomplete action or state. What is present participle? So this participle is classified into present participle and past participle. A present participle is a non-finite verb which ends in ing and works like an adjective. Present participle works like an adjective. Besides the present participle, there is another participle called the past participle. Participle is divided into two, present participle and past participle. It represents an action state as completed. A past participle is a non-finite verb which is the third form of the verb and works like an adjective. Present participle as well as past participle work like an adjective. Let us see their specific uses. The present participle may be used as an adjective placed before the noun it qualifies. The rising sun is beautiful to see. Rising sun, rising. This is placed before the noun it qualifies. He jumped out of the moving train. Moving train, moving train, moving. Present participle before the noun train. Barking dogs seldom bite. Barking dogs. Dogs, but which dogs? Barking dogs. Present participle may be used as an object complement placed after the object. I saw the moon rising. Moon is qualified by the participle rising. So in this sentence, participle is placed just after the noun it describes. He kept me waiting. Me waiting. I found the child sitting outside. Child sitting. And present participle may be used as a subject complement placed after verbs like be, seem, appear. The lecture was interesting. Was interesting. Interesting complement of the verb was. This long journey is tiring. Is tiring. Tiring present participle used complement. The boy seems smiling. Smiling complement for the subject, the boy. Present participle may be used as an adjective phrase. The book lying on the table. The book lying on the table. The child wearing the red coat. The car standing at the gate. Present participle may be used to express an earlier action or one of the actions of the same subject. Entering the room, I saw him. Entering the room, earlier action. Seeing the lion, the man ran. Seeing the lion. Finding none in the class, the teacher became angry. Finding none in the class. Present participle may be used an absolute phrase. What is absolute phrase? It may be seen that the present participle forming a phrase without the noun or pronoun placed before it is independent of the subject or the remaining part of the sentence. This phrase of the present participle is called an absolute phrase. Absolute phrase. As an absolute phrase, it being a fine day. God willing, we will meet again. Weather permitting, we will have the function outside. And most importantly, present participle may be used for the formation of present participle, for the formation of continuous tense. For example, he is writing a letter to his friend. He was writing a letter to his friend, and he will be writing a letter to his friend. Then use of the past participle, because participle is classified into two, the present participle and the past participle. A past participle is a finite verb which is the third form of the verb. It is not having ing at its end. Past participle is the third form of verb and works like an adjective. Now let us see the uses. Past participle may be used as an adjective placed before the noun, it qualifies. Placed before the noun, it qualifies. A burnt child dreads the fire. A burnt, B-U-R-N-T, third form of the verb used as the past participle. Learned man will never talk much. He was wearing a torn shirt. Torn, T-O-R-N, torn shirt. Past participle may be used as an object complement, placed after the object. This is placed after the object and works like complement for the object. I found him tired. I found him tired. Him is object and tired is complement for the object him. He had his shoes cleaned. Shoes is object and cleaned is complement. Then past participle is used as a subject complement. As it was used as the complement for the object, it is used as the complement for the subject. He appears bored. A bored is past participle used here as the complement for the subject he. He appears bored. The man seems worried. Past participle is used or may be used as an adjective phrase, generally put after the noun, it qualifies. Books read in childhood. Books read in childhood, adjective phrase. Money collected easily has no worth. Money collected easily. The man wanted by the police is here. The man wanted by the police. Past participle may be used to express an earlier action. Present participle was also used to express an early or earlier expression or earlier statement, earlier action. Deceived by his friends, he killed himself. Beaten by the enemy, the soldiers fled. Terrified, they stood crowded together. So deceived by the friends and beaten by the enemy, earlier actions expressed by the past participle. Past participle may be used to form the passive voice. A bridge is being built. A bridge is being built. You are being taught. And most important, use of the past participle is to form the perfect tense. Maybe present perfect tense or past perfect tense or the future perfect tense. For example, they have already forgotten their promises. Present perfect tense. Past participle is used here to form the perfect tense. Present perfect tense. They have already forgotten their promises. And in the past perfect tense, they had already forgotten their promises. And in the future perfect tense, they will have already forgotten their promises. And now let us come to the gerund. I love reading books. I love reading books. Reading books is a good habit. Reading books is a good habit. Reading books is a good habit, and I love reading books. Remember these two sentences. Reading is formed by the verb read and has an object books. Reading books. Books object. However, like a noun, reading is the subject of the verb is in the sentence. So reading is the subject. Reading can be the object. Now, a gerund is a noun. A gerund is used as a noun. A gerund is a non-finite verb which ends in ing and works like a noun. Let us see the uses of gerund. The gerund is used like a noun as the subject of a verb. Singing is a good art. Singing, noun, subject. Reading the Gita has become my habit. Reading, subject, noun. Gerund can be used as the object of a verb. I love teaching the boys. Teaching, object. I do not know dancing. Dancing, object. Gerund is used as the complement of a verb. One of Mohan's recreations is singing. Singing, complement. Our aim is passing the examination. Passing, complement. As the object of a preposition. Gerund is used as the object of a preposition. He is fond of playing cards. Playing, and before that there is the of. Playing, it is the object of the preposition of. We cannot live without eating. Eating, and before that there is the without. You are very clever at making excuses. Making, and before that there is the at. We have seen, dear friends, gerund and infinitive will be used with the same meaning. Cooking is an art. To cook is an art here. They are used for the same meaning. But gerund and infinitive can be used in the same pattern but with a different shade of meaning. For example, she loves singing. Here, singing, gerund, general statement. She loves to sing with me, more definite. This is the difference between the gerund and infinitive. They can be used for the same meaning and they can be used in the same pattern but with a different shade of meaning. Then gerund and participle. Both the gerund and the present participle look alike, formed from a verb with ing ending, but the gerund functions like a noun. Gerund functions like a noun, while the present participle functions like an adjective. Participle functions like an adjective. Gerund functions like a noun. For example, he kept me waiting. Waiting, present participle. I don't like waiting, gerund, noun. So, dear friends, you do the revision, take care of your study, we stop here today. If you have any queries or the doubt about this section, you can ask. Sir, doubt session.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I have a doubt. Sir, I
Yes.
have a doubt in infinitive, sir. Sir, can you repeat
Yes.
these three in short recap, sir? Can you?
Infinitive. You have a doubt in infinitive.
Yes, sir. Or in yes, sir.
So, if do you want to ask about the infinitive or of infinitive, participle, and gerund?
No, sir. I wanted to ask you about infinitive only.
Okay. What exactly do you want to know about infinitive? Hello, specify. Please clear your question. What exactly do you want to ask about infinitive?
Sir, in Miss, I didn't
Hello.
understand the topic only. Miss infinitive. Miss, there are three types, no, sir. Infinitive, participle, and gerund. So I didn't
Actually,
understood the first type.
infinitive. Did you understand the participle
Yes, sir.
and gerund?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Then your understanding can become very clear and easy now.
Yes, sir.
Infinitive is derived from verb. Number one. Look at here.
Yes, sir.
Derived or formed from verb. V1 verb. And before that, there is the to. To play,
Okay.
to sit, to dance, to jump in this way. Sometimes to is missing there. To is not there. For example, let me read this. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell. Before that tell, there is no to. So infinitive is with to, and sometimes it is without to.
Two.
The infinitive consists of two words, to plus verb. Thus, an infinitive is formed from a verb. Number three, after certain verbs and expressions, the infinitive is used without to. An
Okay, sir.
infinitive is a non-finite verb, dear friend. An
Okay, sir.
infinitive is a non-finite verb which is generally placed before, which is preceded by to. Preceded by to, that means the verb and before that there is to, and used like a noun, adjective, or adverb. Infinitive is used like a noun, adjective, or adverb. For example, to err is human, to forgive is divine. To err is human, to forgive is divine. To err is human, to forgive is divine. It is used as a noun. To find fault is easy. To err is human. To solve the question, it is used as a subject, and subject is a noun as a noun. Number one. Secondly, infinitive is used as an object. It is used as an object. He wants to go. This is the object. To go is the object of the verb wants. Next, he is to sell his car. To sell is infinitive. It is used as the complement of the verb is. And then as the object of a preposition. He is about to come. To come is the object of the verb of the preposition about. About is preposition, and after that to come infinitive is used. It has become the object of the preposition about. Along with this, infinitive is used to qualify a noun as an adjective. In these sentences, it was used as a noun. It can be used as an adjective also. Infinitive can be used as an adjective. Let us see next example. Give me a chair to sit. Now, he has no money to buy. Qualifying the noun money. So money, this noun is being qualified by this infinitive. Here it becomes the adjective. In the next sentence, it is difficult to solve this problem.